All right, Bladesmiths, congratulations. The two of you have made it through the first 2 rounds of our layer race competition, which means you're going into the final round. Now, we are giving you 4 days of your home forges to battle it out for the title of Forge and Fire Champion and a check for $10,000. We want you to build this. The Mesopotamian sickle sword.
The sickle sword originated in Mesopotamia at the height of the Bronze Age, around 2500 BC. These sickle and curved-shaped swords often symbolized royalty and power, and were primarily wielded during ceremonies by kings and authority figures. Although these swords were not common on the battlefield, the belly of the blade allowed for quick, devastating blows and inspired designs for later weapons, such as the deadly Egyptian khopesh.
Good luck. We will see you in 4 days.
Go. My name is Robert Taylor. I'm from Brentwood, California. I'm a sergeant with the San Francisco Sheriff's Department. I took up bladesmithing because I'd like to watch Forge and Fire. It's something I really wanted to go further in, become an ABS smith, maybe a master smith someday, because I love forging. So I'm gonna go 500 layers of Damascus on each side with a 1084 center core. All right, we're going for our final forge weld. As long as I'm solid with my steel, 1084 will give it more stronger center. The place where I want it to bend will bend down, and then the tip will start bending up automatically as I hit it. I'm whacking it on the horn to get it to bend down. It's easier than using the hammer. I like it. Got the build all ready for the quench. If this quench doesn't go right, I'm gonna have to go ahead and start over, and that's gonna suck. Went in pretty hot. We'll see if we have any bad forge welds. We have a hard blade. I want to keep it light enough and balanced enough for somebody to swing it. Getting there. Feel really good about my weapon. Getting all the fit up done. I think this thing's gonna slice anything they put before it.
My name is Jacob Gates. I am 20 years old and I'm from Royalton, Minnesota. Martial arts has always been my first love and first hobby, and then I got into bladesmithing. They both kind of crisscross because when you're making a knife, it's just got to be real patient with it. Wax on, wax off. I'm gonna put a ladder pattern in this steel. Kind of can see the ladder pattern in there already. The length and curve of this blade is gonna be difficult to work with just because I want to make sure everything stays straight and doesn't have any warps to it. Looking good so far, because ultimately that could send me home if that's not spot on. We're getting ready to quench here. I feel pretty good about my progress. Everything looks good. That's a good temperature. Oh, that is straight. Everything's looking good. Now we're gonna have to temper it. That's gonna take away a little of this hardness and it's gonna add toughness. Because right now it's pretty brittle. If I just went and smacked it on my anvil, it would probably shatter. I think the hardest part is gonna be getting the heat just right. I don't have an oven long enough to fit this sword in, so we're gonna have to do it all with a torch. It's not going to be as precise as having an oven. Don't want to overheat it. Makes me a little bit nervous because I don't know the ultimate outcome, but hopefully we get it just right. I want to make sure everything is even on this handle and everything feels good. As a martial artist, I'm really into flow and I'm really into feel. Feels good. I'm not quite sure what my strength test is going to be, but I think whatever they throw at it, it's going to be able to handle it.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. So to find out what kind of lethal damage they will do, I'm going to take your weapons and deliver some lethal blows on this ballistics dummy. Jacob, you're up first. Ready?
Cut the head off.
Let's do that. All right, Jacob, let's talk about your sickle sword right here. Your edge is razor sharp. Coupled with the fact that this is a very light weapon, I can use velocity to really wield that sharp edge. It cuts deep into this ballistics dummy. And overall, sir, your weapon will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Robert, your turn, sir. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. All right, Robert, let's talk about your sickle sword. It's a very light blade, that much lighter than the other one. And the angle that you have in here lends itself to use not only velocity, but the sharpness of your edge to cut very deep into this ballistics dummy. And overall, sir, you will kill.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the strength test, the Armored Warrior Chop. To test the strength and overall durability of your Mesopotamian sickle swords, I'm going to be chopping into these Armored Warriors. Jacob, you're up first. You ready for this?
I don't think I get a choice.
You don't have a choice. What actually happened is your sword bit into the other sword by about 3/16 of an inch, and it took out this chip. And once that chip was gone, the whole sword blew up. Your grain looks good, but unfortunately, it's just this sword against that sword. This time, that sword won.
Yep.
All right, Jacob, we hate to see this happen. You gave us a beautiful blade, but unfortunately, it did suffer a catastrophic failure on the 7th strike. But you are not out of the fight yet, because Robert, in order to become the champion, you will have to survive every single one of those 7 strikes on the Armored Warrior. Are you ready?
Let's roll the dice.
All right, Ben.
Good job.
Well, Robert, the big thing is, it's one sword. Nice job.
Thank you.
Well, Robert, you made it through all the testing. Jacob, it's a beautiful piece of work. Unfortunately, due to your catastrophic failure, we cannot continue testing, and for that reason, I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thank you, gentlemen. It was an honor.
Thank you very much.
Very nice job.
Thank you.
You know, it totally sucks, but I really am proud of the blade I made either way. You know, they said pretty much nothing but good things about it up until it broke. And well, I'd totally come back for this and maybe get a shot at making it all the way through.
Well, Robert, we never like to see competitors' blades break, but yours did not, and that makes you the newest Forged in Fire champion. You just got yourself a check for $10,000. Congratulations.
Thanks. Thanks.
Feel pretty good?
Crazy, dude. Crazy. Winning this championship, I think, has really pushed me to my limits, and then that makes me want to push them even more. Now I'm a champion, I'm going to go ahead and get my ABS Smith membership and just really refine my skills.
Well, Ryan, Matt, gentlemen, congratulations. The two of you have made it past the first forging round in our Best in Damascus competition, which means that the two of you are going back to battle it out from your home forges for 4 days. Now, Ryan, because you impressed the judges most in the first round with your blade, you get the choice of one of these 3 blades to build against your competitor here. Now, we've got the hook sword, the Killage, and finally the Panabas. What are you thinking?
Let's go with the Killage.
The Killage, all right.
The Killage traces its origins back to the 15th century Ottoman Empire. This lightweight, sharp, curved blade was specifically designed to be wielded single-handedly, making it ideal for warriors on horseback to deliver deadly slashes upon enemy attackers. This formidable weapon was previously featured on Season 5 of Forged in Fire, where both smiths overcame complications with the length of the blade and the ornate longet. But ultimately, an extreme bend taken during the strength test cost one smith the competition.
Good luck. We will see you in 4 days.
Good luck. Hey, good luck, man. I'm Ryan Searles. I'm a 20-year-old artisan bladesmith from Thornton, Colorado. I've always loved to craft and build things with my hands, and when I found out I could play with fire and hammer steel, I mean, come on, what's not cooler than that?
I want to shoot for a braided mosaic Damascus.
Woo!
I'm going to stack up billet of about 28 layers, forge it out, chop it into tiles, and I'm able to create a braided mosaic. I got this sword forged out to where I want it to be, and I'm ready to go for the heat treat. Alrighty. If I don't get this blade hard, I could be out on this. Oh yeah, we got warp. There's a slight warp to the right, so I know I gotta put it between two 2x4s and clamp it up. Otherwise, if I can't get that warp out now, it's gonna bite me in the butt later. Woo! That's pretty straight. I want to fit the longes and handle together. It has to be inlaid just so I can get a very tight and nice fit up. So it's time to get the blade into the acid and see this pattern pop. All right, moment of truth. Woo! Look at that. Woo-hoo! Yeah! We got a killage. I brought my A game. Can't wait to see what Matt does, and can't wait to hopefully get that 10K. There we go.
My name is Matt Roberts. I'm 41 years old, and I've been making knives for about 20 years now. I've been practicing law now for about 14 years. My goal is to win the competition so I can have bragging rights and, frankly, be insufferable to my friends, more so than I am already. I'm forging a coarse ladder pattern in this blade. The hardest part of this build is going to be forging the Damascus and making sure I have a very solid billet. This far into the process, if the blade fails, making another blade in the time remaining is frankly impossible. Yeah, we're good. I want to have more mass in the handle. I also want to be able to have a bigger, more contoured handle that'll be more comfortable to the user. I have the handle rough shaped. There's some gapping between the handle and the guard. Try to fill these the best I can. I don't think any of the flaws are going to affect its functionality. They're just cosmetic and they're ugly. Got the handle done. That doesn't look half bad. I think overall it came out okay. I'll be looking forward to seeing the sword used. I think that would be fun.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our dynamic keel test. Ryan, you're up first. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, Ryan, let's talk about your killer's sword here. First up, I appreciate the beauty of the Damascus pattern you have there. Also, what I like about this is that it's got that classic killage look where you got parallel lines and it slowly curve up. That's what we like with a historical piece like this. Now your handle construction, everything is smooth, no sharp corners on that. Your edge is sharp. It almost got through all the way on the pig carcass and the Tommy mats. Overall, your weapon, it will kill.
Awesome.
Matt, your turn. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Matt, let's talk about your killage. It's not quite the historic accurate killage because you don't have those parallel lines. It immediately goes down into a curve. Your handle construction is also not the typical Killage look, but your edge is razor sharp. You've got a very nice balance to wield this weapon, and overall, your Killage will kill.
Thank you very much.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our dynamic strength and cutting test. I'm going to attempt to cut through these vines and smash these skulls. I'm not gonna go easy. I'm gonna have fun with these. And Ryan, you're up first. You ready to go?
Let's break some skulls.
Nice job, Ryan. Your edge is still very, very sharp.
Sweet.
No glinting or anything. Cut beautifully, and overall, tested very well. Good job.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, Matt. It's always more fun for the second guy, right?
I'm ready.
Well, I'm ready too. Let's go. All right, Matt, nice job.
Thank you.
I like the blade, I like the weight. The Damascus came out beautifully. You have the slightest bits of glinting. I mean, it's very minimal. Your handle, a little unorthodox, and right in this area, I wish it had rounded off a little bit more.
Right.
Because it's a little bit sharp right where my thumb sits on this part, but nothing's loose. Nice job.
Thank you very much.
Well, gentlemen, you gave us two swords that performed outstanding in our tests. But at the end of the day, only one of you can leave here as a Forged Fire champion, getting a check for $10,000. After discussion, our judges did make a final decision. Today's Forged Fire champion is Ryan. Congratulations. Matt, you missed out by just a little bit, and Jay's going to tell you why.
Matt, you brought us a great sword and a great performer. You should be very proud of what you did. But you did have a little bit of glinting on the skulls during the strength test. And the handle has got some hot spots, and I could feel them when I'm swinging it. Big thing, though, is the historical accuracy. What you brought us is a little bit off from the traditional Killage, and that's why we're sending you home.
I understand.
Well, Matt, you brought us a beautiful blade that did perform extremely well, but unfortunately your time in this competition has ended. I'm going to have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Congratulations, man. Great job.
Thanks, man.
The whole thing, it was fun. It was exciting. It was challenging. It was everything I was looking for.
Well, Ryan, congratulations. That makes you a Forged Fire champion. You'll be receiving a check for $10,000, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Forged and Fire champion? What? Oh man, it feels good. I mean, Matt was an insane competitor. It feels good to make it through all the tests, and 10 grand, hey, that's just a plus to me.